Caitlin Clark is going to miss tonight's game, and she's got a groin injury. I have been banging the drum online and on here for the last 2 weeks saying there's something wrong with her legs. There's something going on. Is it the nagging quad injury?
Breaking news. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White has finally spoken out, and it's the update every WNBA fan has been waiting for. Caitlin Clark, the superstar rookie who's carried this league on her back, is still sidelined. And now we have some shocking new insight into her condition. Just when fans thought she'd return to electrify the crowd in Dallas,
it looked like Stephanie White has a new plan for Caitlin Clark for this 2025 season. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy.
White drops a major bombshell that changes everything. This isn't just about missing a game. It's about the Fever's playoff hopes, Clark's long-term future, and the league's dependence on one young star's health. So what did Stephanie White say? What does it mean for Clark? And why are fans both relieved and furious? Let's break it all down, because this is the update that could shape the rest of the season, and maybe the league's entire future.
I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged.
Stephanie White came out with calm, professional tones, saying Clark is day-to-day, calling her a quick healer, and emphasizing that the team is being hypersensitive to the big picture. On the surface, it sounds responsible, right? A coach protecting her star player. But underneath that calm tone, there's a storm of uncertainty. Because let's be honest, you don't pull a player from 2 straight games, including a nationally anticipated showdown in Dallas, unless something serious is going on. This isn't just soreness. This isn't rest. This is a star who's already missed 5 games earlier in the season, now being pulled out again after barely returning. Coaches don't talk about being hypersensitive to the big picture, unless they're worried about a lingering issue. White is trying to keep things stable, but for fans reading between the lines, it's crystal clear. Caitlin Clark is not close to 100%, and the Fever know it. They just don't want to cause panic. But make no mistake, behind the calm words is real concern. Clark missing more time right now, it's a brutal blow. The Fever are on the playoff bubble, and every single game matters. Sitting her out in Dallas in a huge matchup that was moved to a bigger venue just because she was supposed to be there wasn't just a medical decision. It was a business and basketball gut punch. The Fever are 2-4 without Clark. They don't have the depth or firepower to consistently win without her. That's a fact. This isn't the middle of the season where you can afford to rest and reload. This is crunch time, when teams need their stars to push for momentum. And Clark's absence, it derails all of that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out of bounds plays. It is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either. It's tough. But at the same time, for us, it started with our energy.
Not only is Indiana slipping in the standings, but now fans are questioning if Clark's injuries will keep her from finishing the season strong at all. No Caitlin, no playoffs. It's that simple. And while Stephanie White might be focusing on the long term, the short term is quickly slipping away.
Caitlin Clark is going to be the best player in the W by the end of the 2025 season. I'm saying it right here, and I'm saying it right now. She will be the best player in the W by the end of the season.
Let's be real. This wasn't just another road game. This was a marquee event. The Dallas Wings game had been moved to the massive American Airlines Center for one reason and one reason only: Caitlin Clark. Thousands of fans, many of whom don't even follow the WNBA regularly, circled this date on their calendars. It was their one shot to see the most talked about player in women's basketball in person. And then, boom, she scratched from the lineup. No warm-up, no entrance, just a late announcement followed by a polite but hollow apology.
Reminding our players, Indiana's a different team than they were the first 3 times that we played them earlier in the season. And then we got to come out with a high level of discipline defensively, high activity level on the defensive end of the floor, and continue to work on playing with the pace that we want offensively.
Coach Stephanie White said, "I'm sorry for the people who are coming. I hate that for the fans. But let's be honest, sorry doesn't cut it when you've spent hundreds on tickets, travel, parking, food, and merch. When you've told your kids they're going to see Caitlin Clark and then you sit down in your seat only to find out she's out again, that's not just disappointing, that's infuriating. This is the second time something like this has happened, and fans are catching on. The excitement surrounding Clark is turning into skepticism. It's no longer, wow, I hope she lights it up tonight. It's, is she even going to play? That's a terrible narrative for a league that has finally clawed its way into national relevance. And what's worse, the league and the Fever seem to have no system in place to give fans any kind of heads up. Yes, player health should come first, no question, but this is professional sports. And when you build your entire brand around one athlete, you owe it to fans to be transparent, proactive, and respectful of their commitment.
Love talking about Caitlin Clark on this show, and she participated in some kind of LPGA Pro-Am, drew monster crowds. There's pictures of just like everybody trying to get an autograph with Caitlin.
This mishandling of Clark's injury communication is a PR disaster, and if it continues, don't be surprised when future sellouts start looking a little more empty. Now here's the brutal truth no one wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark hasn't been herself for weeks. The signs were all there. In her last 3 games before sitting out, she shot 1 of 23 from beyond the arc. That's not a slump. That's a breakdown. Against Seattle, she managed only 6 points. 6. For a player who once looked like she could average 25 a night, that's a red alert. And let's not pretend this is just a case of everyone has off nights. That kind of consistent drop-off in production is a physical and mental issue. The wear and tear of the WNBA season, combined with the non-stop media pressure and marketing obligations, is taking its toll. She went straight from the most demanding college season in NCAA history into a hyper-condensed pro schedule without so much as a breather. Her body is clearly fatigued. Her shot isn't falling. Her movement looks stiffer. The spark that made her a rookie sensation is flickering. And this groin injury, it didn't just happen. It was the natural consequence of overuse, lack of rest, and a training staff that's clearly scrambling to manage the load.
It's disappointing, that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways. We don't have to make the play that stops the run or the play that turns the tide.
4 quarters of really good basketball, and I think it's going to be a learning curve. But that's what's going to have to happen if we want to beat the really good teams in this league.
This is a massive concern, not just for this season, but for her career longevity. If her team doesn't give her time to truly reset, not just 2 games off, but actual rehab, rest, and mental decompression, she's going to be a shell of herself by August, or worse, suffer something far more serious than a groin strain. We're witnessing a crash in slow motion, and if someone doesn't pull the brakes, it could end badly, not just for her, but for the entire image of the league. Let's set the stage clearly. Caitlin Clark entered this season as the unquestioned, undisputed, hands-down frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. She had the spotlight. She had the hype. She had the entire WNBA ecosystem built around her. From ESPN primetime coverage to sold-out arenas across the country, everyone assumed the ROY trophy was a formality. But not anymore. Because while Clark is on the bench nursing another injury and battling a serious shooting slump,
Ain't nobody paying $8,100 to watch Angel Reese play ball, especially when there are tickets. There was a ticket available for $29. $29 to see Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play at the LSU.
Paige Bukers is heating up, and she's coming with fire. The Dallas Wings rookie has been nothing short of spectacular. Her stats are catching up to Clark's quickly, averaging 17.7 points and 5.8 assists over just 12 games with incredible efficiency. She's not forcing shots. She's not turning the ball over. She's doing what Clark did in college, playing calm, smart, and fearless. And now, with Clark sidelined, Bukers has the golden opportunity to close the gap and flip the narrative. This isn't just a rookie rivalry anymore. This is a full-on threat to the throne. Clark's been stuck at 1 of 23 from 3 over her last 3 games. That's not just a shooting funk, it's a meltdown. She's visibly fatigued. Her legs aren't under her. Her playmaking has dipped. And if she returns too soon, still banged up, still shooting bricks, while Bukers continues dropping 20-point nights with slick passes and confident leadership, the league will notice, the media will pounce, and voters will start second-guessing everything. We've already seen this story before in other leagues. The rookie favorite who starts hot but fades late due to injuries and pressure, while a quieter star surges past with consistency and clutch play. That's exactly what Bukers is setting up to do. And make no mistake, she's not just chasing a trophy. She's chasing the narrative. She's saying, "You all forgot about me." Watch this. There's another layer to this, one that's even spicier. Bukers was supposed to be Clark's rival in college. Injuries and timing never let that battle fully blossom. But now it's happening on the biggest stage in women's pro basketball. The WNBA didn't get Clark versus Bukers in the NCAA finals, but they might get it now. In the most high-stakes ROI race the league has ever seen. And here's the wild part: if Bukers keeps rising and Clark keeps missing games or playing hurt, we may witness the most controversial Rookie of the Year debate in league history. Fans will split. Media will debate. The league will face real pressure to pick between the icon who carried the league's visibility and the hooper who just kept winning when it mattered most. So while Stephanie White is talking about the big picture, that picture is rapidly shifting. And Paige Bukers is painting herself right into the center of it.
You know, obviously we're disappointed that things didn't work out. I love DB. I mean, DB is somebody that I have so much respect for. She's a Hall of Famer. And while I'm disappointed, I always, first and foremost, want her to be happy. And so I'm thankful for the time that we've had. And